Dom Arazzarina is with us. Sir, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yeah, that's right, Arazzarina.
Great. You are the president of the Oakland Police Officers Association. OPOA.org is the website. And I understand you crafted this letter that is on your website that says that starts out, we represent the 645 police officers who work hard every day to protect the citizens of Oakland. We, too, are the 99% fighting for better working conditions, fair treatment, and the ability to provide a living for our children and our families. We are severely understaffed, with many city beats remaining unprotected by police during the day and evening hours, and then goes on from there to essentially criticize the mayor for putting you guys in the position where what is described as a police riot happened Tuesday night. Is all that accurate up to this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, what's the position? What's your position and the position of the Oakland Police Officers Association on what happened Tuesday night? I mean, what could possibly justify the use of tear gas? They arrested 700 people on the Brooklyn Bridge. They didn't need tear gas to do that.
You know, I wasn't out there the night of the riot, so I can't explain why the justification was made to utilize tear gas. But from what I understand, there was a lot of rocks and bottles being thrown at police officers. And
we talked to a reporter earlier who was there who said that yes, there were a few protesters who were throwing plastic water bottles that they had been drinking at the police, which I think we all deplore, but does that really justify rubber bullets, which can, if they hit you in the right place, kill you or take your eye out, flash grenades and tear gas?
I can't even get into why they did what they did because I wasn't out there at that time.
Okay. And the Oakland Police Officers Association is not taking a position on that?
No, we're not going to criticize or get into the discussion about the tactics used that night because we quite frankly, I was not there.
Were those tactics... The decision to use those tactics, were those made on the spot by the police officers? Were those made by the mayor's office? I mean, much of your letter points out, and I think this is one of the things that from the Vietnam era to today, that particularly when people think of people who might be opposed to foreign wars or supportive of them for that matter, that it's not the soldiers. I mean, there's a few bad apples in every group, right? We can all acknowledge that, but typically, it's not the soldiers who are responsible for the war. It's not, generally speaking, the police department that is responsible for the action that they're taking. It's the civilian government. This is the greatness of America, that our military and our police are under the jurisdiction of the civilian that ordered it. And it sounds to me like in your letter you're basically saying, Mayor Kwan, what the hell's going on here?
So you're right. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head when you talk about these are police officers. They're just doing their job. We kind of feel like we've been placed in this really bad position of a no-win situation, and we've been silent the whole time on this issue. And then the media and the politicians have just kind of painted the picture and putting us on an island, which is very unfair to the police officers, especially the men and women that represent the Oakland Police Department. They've been depicted poorly, and it doesn't represent how what we do here. This is the city of Oakland. We have a tough, high crime rate. These are hard-nosed police officers that have to deal with stuff every day, and our main focus is community policing and to deal with issues within the community, working with the community, not because the community policing, quote unquote, like that's the right thing to do. It's because we have to do it. We don't have that many cops. We need to have the citizens help us. So that's who we are.
As the president of the Oakland Police Officers Association, is this a union or is this a non-union organization?
This is it's an association. It's not unionized. It's not like
Are you guys unionized?
We are an association only.
Okay, so there's not the Oakland Police Department is not part of the Teamsters or the AFL-CIO or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Just curious. What do you say to the folks who say, when police violence happens and people say, I was just following orders, we heard that song back in the 40s and nobody took it seriously after the fact. In fact, some people got hung for that. Obviously, the scale was wildly different, but it's just something that doesn't fly with Americans generally. I mean, you've got a guy in the hospital with brain damage as a result of the violence that was perpetrated by the Oakland Police Department.
Okay, so what is my response to All of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's all of one thing, isn't it, basically?
Well, quite simply is this. My question is, how do we get there? I mean, how do we get to this spot? I mean, more importantly than the act itself, what caused us to get to where we were?
Right.
And that's where, if you look, that's where the mistakes are occurring.
Sure.
We should have never got to this location. We should have never been in this position, and the police should have never been placed in this type of position.
And there are police departments around the country that are actually refusing to do it. I believe it was Philadelphia. It might have been Pittsburgh the day before, or perhaps it was the day after last week that you guys had your problem in Oakland, that where the mayor said, go in and clear the park, and the police chief said no. I know policing.
I mean, yeah, now
ain't gonna happen.
Now you got politics playing in everything now. See, so now everyone saw us, and they're like, oh, we're not, we don't want to get in the political spotlight like Oakland did, and you saw everyone pulling out.
Right.
Now, unfortunately for everybody, that now these things have taken blossomed into something else, and everyone's going to have to deal with this at some point. And the only problem the reason why we wrote the letter is that we're not trying to completely criticize all what we do. We are just trying to say, hey, look, we're just trying to do our job out here. We should be looked at as just public servants that are just doing what we're told to do.
But when people are exercising their First Amendment right to peaceably assemble and petition the government for redress of grievance, which is right there in the First Amendment, and somebody shows up and shoots them with a rubber bullet, which can kill.
Do you think this is the first protest we've had in Oakland? No, we got them all the time. We've had protests here all the time, and not a situation, not a tension like this.
Right. So why this? Why now?
It's about how we got here. It's about what prompted us to get to this position. I think there was a lot of poor tactics in how the city approaches.
Was the police department directed to be there in the way, at the level of force, and given the permission to escalate to the level of force that they did by civilian officials, by Deanna Santana or by Gene Kwan, the mayor, or was there a more general order like clear the park and all those decisions were made by the police?
I think there was a more general order, and then things were carried out by the police department.
Okay, so that sounds to me like really an indictment of your internal policies at the police department.
Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I mean, you're talking about something that you weren't there. I wasn't there. We don't know what was. You're going off secondhand information.
Well, I'm going off a guy in the hospital. And I'm just saying. Yeah, somebody screwed up.
I guess you failed to mention that there's 7 police officers that are injured as well. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Okay, and 7 police officers were injured.
What were they injured by?
The day. They were hit by rocks and bottles, feces, paint were thrown at them.
Are any of them?
I don't know what's
any of them hospitalized?
No, they were not hospitalized. Okay. But let me ask you a question. Well, at what point do we say no to that?
Well, I would say no to that from the get-go.
At what point do police officers become just active targets to people, and then we just take it? I mean,
well, you don't. You shouldn't, and you shouldn't have to. I'm with you on that, but and I would say that this is the lesson that every movement needs to learn, is to look at what Martin Luther King and those folks did down in Selma when they stood there and the police turned dogs on them and turned fire hoses on them, and they didn't throw a rock. They stood there and took it, and that demonstrated a moral high ground, as it were. And I think everybody needs to be claiming the moral high ground right now. Dom, I'm sorry, we're out of time. The machine starts. I don't start it.
Well, I mean, before I leave you,
sure.
You have a discussion on how you would handle this differently, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's a very, very good conversation.